Peter,
Hello,
you start
ladies
with
and
your
gentlemen.
questions. No, start with the questions that we have. And if other questions come the way, then we can answer those questions.
Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Welcome to iTiS Well of Worship Fellowship. This is our Monday Zoom meeting where we have a Q&R fellowship. We ask questions, we respond to them, we provoke your thinking. We also ask about our responses. We subject our responses to further questions because we think through asking, we understand things better. Even we believe better. You're very much welcome. And we have a lineup of questions. Tonight, we have a lineup of questions. And unfortunately, the moderator has got almost 99% of these questions. So I have the honor, therefore, to ask these questions in my very, very voice. The first question is, when Jesus of Nazareth exhorts us to love one another, what is he telling us to do practically? That is the first question. I would like us to go bit by bit. That is question one. When Jesus of Nazareth exhorts us to love one another, what is he telling us to do practically?
Are you first reading all the questions or we start?
No, I shall go. Yes, we go bit by bit. That is the first question. And feel free to respond either by show of hand or by unmuting. Will you go first? Pedson, please.
Me, yes. Okay. First of all, what makes us not love our... Jesus tells us to love our neighbors or to love our first say it again. Hello?
Yes, I was saying, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, the question says, when Jesus of Nazareth exhorts us to love one another,
yes,
to love one another. Yes, what is he telling us to do practically?
Okay. Me, I'm going to give. Of course, there's so many answers that people will come up with, the ones that are on this call. But the reason why we don't love one another is one of the reasons why we don't love one another. One of the reasons is because human beings are intrinsically selfish people. We love ourselves more than we love other people. And because of that, we tend to hate people because we love ourselves more than we love other people. And me, I'm going to coin it from the same thing. And the reason why we are selfish is because that selfishness of us as human beings has caused us to love things more than we love other people. And this is the reason why this earth is so disorganized like this, because of selfish interests of one person. It disorganizes. It can even cause 1 million people to die in Rwanda just in 3 months because of selfishness of one guy who wants to become a president. It can cause 500 people to die in Ruwero. And for him, he doesn't really care. But because he wants to achieve something, then that's what he has to do. So now the love for things makes us not love with each other. And Jesus is just trying to draw us to that. He's like, love people, love one another. And by the way, there's no way you can love things and you love people. And there's no way you can love people and love things. So it has to be a trade-off between the two. I don't think you can equally love your neighbor, but then also love the things that possess, because we are just selfish human beings. So the other time in some meeting, there's a time when I was saying that human beings, we think that we are special creatures, but there's no way a human being will claim to be a special creature unless we have reached at that level of loving each other. One, by loving our fellow people more than we love the material things. Two, loving people regardless of their status. We tend to, when someone is in your social class, when someone is your tribe, when someone is your race, you tend to love them more. But as long as we start loving a human being, regardless of the color, regardless of the status, regardless of the tribe, then there we are now starting to become a special creature, the one Jesus is calling us. We need to move from that level. One, we need to start loving human beings, regardless of their status. Number two, we need to reduce on the love for things and love human beings. And guess what? God is telling us this because He knows that we have the ability. A human being is capable of loving each other. Eh? Asime loving Sabbath-day, even if they're not from the same tribe, or Asime loving Okero. So Jesus knows that how He created us, we have the ability to do that, but we're not doing it, and that's why He's calling us to do that. And me, I think the moment a human being, human race gets to that level, we'll have solved all our problems that we face here on earth. All our problems that we face here on earth, we'll only be remaining with one problem, which is death, that we have no control over. But the rest, will have sorted them 100%. I'm done.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Pedson. Hello.
Yes, yes,
Thank
yes.
you,
I've
thank you.
finished.
Yeah, thank you, Pedson. Yeah, thank you, Pedson, for that contribution. Yes, AB, can you talk? Are you free to talk, or you're listening in? Okay, AB, are you there?
Hello, Peter, I'm listening in, but I can't talk right now.
All right, then. It's all right then. Okay. Kristen, yes, when Jesus of Nazareth tells us to love one another, what is he telling us to practically do? Kristen, are you there? Okay, Kristen is out there. Okay. Yes, Bishop. Bishop, if you're there.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I greet you. I want to think Jesus meant that we should forgive others. For me, I've grown to understand that love is synonymous with forgiveness, especially if you're dealing with human beings. I want to be loved and I want to be forgiven. And that's what Jesus is asking me to do for others. As human beings who err in our jokes, in our movements, you see what the First Lady said, has caught fire everywhere when she was advising the younger ladies that if you want to keep your man for a long time, let him be. Let him be free. But the same applies to us. If you want to keep that person long, let her be. It's, let her be, let him be. Just love the person. On Sunday, I was preaching in church, and I told people that I've just come to realize that God never told us to trust anyone. But when we go for premarital counseling, counselors tell us, you must trust each other. Marriage is about trust, trust. They are misleading us. Because when you trust, you don't forgive. A human being cannot be trusted. In fact, Jeremiah says, cursed is the man who trusts in man. You trust your husband, the day you'll find him behind the kitchen on a maid. The trust would have gone, and it's not easy to forgive. But once you love, you let them be. And I think that's what Jesus is saying. Let human beings in their brokenness be. Love them, forgive them, take them the way they are. Let them. I think I read this in psychology, where they say that human beings are inherently evil. Inherently evil. And to get something good from a human being, be surprised, because they are incapable. They're incapable of doing good, but they are capable of doing everything that is bad, that is wicked, that is evil. And that is the baseline. So when you're dealing with a human being, you're dealing with a foreign man, a wicked man, a wicked man, an evil man, a bad man. But Jesus is telling you, love them. Simply means just forgive them. Take them the way they are. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you very much about that. Yes, I think that was a wonderful one. It was a good one. Yes, Enoch. The question here at hand is, when Jesus of Nazareth tells us to love one another, what does he exhort us to do practically? What is the practical realization of me loving you, loving one another? Yes, Enoch.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
Mumpulira.
Tukulira.
Sorry, I didn't know that actually the video didn't go on. But sorry, Nakaja. Hopefully, I can dive in from the question Jole said. My understanding of that issue of loving one another, I think it is actually, to me, actually, it's also referred to as the law of Christ, because wherever he, say, a new commandment I give you, love one another. It's the law of Christ, the law of the new covenant. We love one another. That's it. So, and it says love is the fulfillment of all the other laws. You love someone, you will not hate on them, you will not kill them, you will not steal from them, you love your wife, you won't cheat on them, it's basically just the fulfillment of every other law. So practically what this means is basically for me, I would think like you look beyond your own, you look out for others, look out for others. The only practical way of also looking at it is the way the first church was living. Those who did not have, they sold what they had and took care of those and gave to those who did not have. Those who had sold what they had and took care of the rest who didn't have. So basically, it's looking out for your friends. Bobo ino obusobozi obuyamba omuntu ng'olina ky'olina nga osobola okikozesa okumuyamba muyambe. So for me, that is the simplest bit of it. whatever you don't want, whatever you want other people to do for you, you do for them. Okay? If you think that if you're stuck in a certain situation and you need help, you need help from some people, then if people are in need, if people need help, then you're able to also help them because you would like what that also be done to you. If you wouldn't want your spouse to cheat on you, then don't cheat on them. If so, basically for me that is kind of like a direct understanding of the scenario.
All right. Yes, thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob, for that. Thank you, Bob, for that. Okay. I don't know, but anyway, yes, Priest White, what do you have to say here? When Jesus of Nazareth exhorts us to love one another, what does he exhort us to do practically?
Well, I have followed from the last part of Bishop Nicholas's presentation, and then also followed through that of Bob Muyanja. And I don't know what the question actually is asking, because it is clear, love one another. So if someone asks, what does that mean really? I wonder what the question is asking. What is the question looking for? Because it is clear, love one another.
And for you, if you're answering an exam, how would you answer?
Then I would say it is love one another, love one another.
Then Max.
Yes.
Banseli banner is a banner that bans Banseli.
Seriously, it is important that we investigate these questions sometimes, because this is how we end up making the Bible say what it does not say, and assuming things in the text which sometimes are actually not there. It is love one another, so love one another really. What is the problem with that? What is the challenge? Because if the question,
what is loving one another? What does it mean?
haven't you ever loved someone? Haven't you loved someone in the past? Or aren't you in love with someone these days?
Yes.
Is there anyone who is not involved in love somewhere?
Maybe someone needs to understand what is love, the definition of love. What?
But you see, we need to invest. We need to confirm that from the person who asked the question. What do you guys mean? You see, I am worried we are becoming too sinful and too foreign, for that matter. We are all exercising love somewhere, and then we ask questions. What does it mean when Jesus says, love one another? What is Jesus saying? What does he want from us? Now, when you hear such questions, then you go back to the text and ask a question. Who was Jesus telling?
The Jews.
He was telling the Jews. Okay, now the question now comes: do the Jews love one another?
I think they did.
Well, the Jews did not love one another. The Jews loved themselves. They did not love one another. Because me and Peterson and no one else here on this school, but me and Peterson.
Virunji is also ours.
Oh, I didn't know, but Virunji sounds like Virungi sounds like a Muganda, but me and Peterson, where we come from, we do not love one another. And so is where Peter and Enoch and Nancha and Christine, they also do not love one another. So when the text says, love one another, mind who is being told to love one another. Because one another, allelus is, that's the Greek word for one another, allelus. Allelus means one of not your kind, of your kindred. One outside your social group. One outside your tribe, therefore. So that is Jesus's command, love one another. That is what it is about. Jesus is telling the Luos to love the Kisses of Kenya, and telling the Kikuyus to love the Luos. Jesus is telling the white man to love Africans, and Africans to love the white man. Jesus is telling the Hutu to love the Tutsi, and the Tutsi to love the Hutu. That is the allelus, love one another. So if you consider the relationship between you and your child, love, then you still have much to learn about love. What is between you and your wife, and what is between you and your children and your parents? It is not necessarily love that we are talking about here. It is a relationship. You are related. When Jesus said, love one another, he was telling you to go outside of yourself. He's telling a people who consider others to be dogs and pigs.
Monkeys.
So an Arab man does not see a black person as a human being. No. A typical Arab man, even the one in Egypt. In fact, Peterson knows Morocco, Egypt, and which other country, Peterson?
Tunisia.
Tunisia, do not consider themselves Africans.
Even in South Africa.
Forget about that madness Zulu. I'm not talking about the white South Africans.
No, even the blacks there.
Those ones are just arrogant, Bob. Don't waste our time. I am talking about those who mean it, and they can prove it. Because the South Africans, based on clean streets, consider themselves out of Africa, not Africans. But I'm talking about people who are not basing on the economy, but basing on who they are by skin and culture. For them, they don't consider themselves as Africans. Now, such Arabs find it very, not just difficult, but foreign and therefore impossible for them to love another that is not them. I come from a cultural group where me, Isaiah White, sit amongst my relatives, a biological family, and then they look at me and say, but this one does not look like us.
Yeah.
This one does not look like us. Somehow. Now imagine if they doubt their own Isaiah. Now put them in charge of those who do not look like them. Now these are the Banyarwanda and the Bahima and the Banyankole of Uganda. I have not talked about the Isaac Mukwanas when the Basoga sit down and they start asking you, where do you come from? So to this, Jesus is telling, love one another. So if you've not loved beyond your boundaries, you are not in agapao, allelus, love one another. You are not in that corridor. You are not, you're just in your comfort zone. And you think taking care of your child is love. And taking care of your wife and husband is love. That is love one another. That's love one another. Now, it is after you've gotten out of that boundary, which is really difficult, as you've seen, and you get outside there, and then you start loving a continuously offensive pig. That is the note where Isaac Mukwana was. I wish you guys could rewind. Imagine you are a Tutsi. You have already gone beyond the boundaries to love a Hutu, and the Hutu is offensive. So Jesus is telling you, love one another is telling you, dear Jews, love continuously offensive Gentiles. So is God asking possibilities? Am I alone on this call now?
No, we are listening.
You are muting and pretending to listen, but you are stuck because of what God is asking you. The typical Baganda have sat in their meeting and resolved to detest anything they consider omunyolo. And there is a king of Buganda telling typical Baganda to love Banyoro. As if that is not enough. He's telling them, even when the Munyoro is offensive, continuously offensive, love the Munyoro. So love is not something that you direct to an object or to an audience that interests you. No, love is something you direct to something contrary to your desires and wants. That is the allelus, one another. So he's asking Jews to love what they hate and what they hate legally.
After all, is the one who told them to do that in the desert.
I am not sure whether he's the one who told them to hate others. But I'm sure he's the one who's telling them to love what they legally hate, what they culturally hate, what is traditionally abominable God says, as long as she's a human being, love. He's telling the whites to stop manipulating Africans, to love them as brothers and sisters, to look at them as they look at themselves, not to look at them as Africans. Yes?
Isaiah,
Yes.
for them, those ones, their problem is capitalism. They just see that when they see us, for them, they are so much about money.
Exactly. So God is asking such to stop looking at us like resources.
Resources.
Yes, that's what God is asking the whites. Same thing is asking individual Africans to stop looking at people as tools and start loving them, to go beyond your boundaries, the boundaries that we've set, to break those boundaries, to build, to break down the fences, and then we build bridges. That is what loving one another is about.
And
now, that thing is very simple until you are directed to your detestable zones. Because we all have them, we can pretend, but we all have them. In the hearts of your heart, there is a particular kind of people you don't like. Precisely, how do you know? Through the Holy Spirit. I know. To such, you are called to love. Now you know why some of us do not marry from certain tribes. Even when a candidate from a certain tribe qualifies more than one in your own tribe. We marry from our tribe and then we call it love. No, it's not a love. It's a culture, it's a cultural right. That's a ritual. And most of us have married ritually. We have married ritually. But if you can step out and sustain that, then you are in love. It goes as far away even from tribe to even religion. You cannot marry from this religion. We even quote verses. Darkness cannot mix with light. What is darkness? Born again. What is light? Islam. God is saying, love one another. Easier said than done. God bless you.
But Isaiah,
Mm.
it is possible.
It is possible. You say.
What is possible?
I think he knows that. No, I'm saying it is
Yes.
possible because you see, this thing here is just psychological.
Mm.
For example, the things that you're mentioning, okay, first leave these whites, these ones who are just looking at us as resources, But the other thing, like honestly, the people who just hate, who just don't love other people because of this person is this person is he doesn't look good, and then you don't like that person. It's just psychological. It's just in your head. Is just
Yes.
just corrupted.
Yes,
Eh?
you're right.
So
You're right.
and that can be and what and as in it can just be removed from your head and you reset. whitewashing and you reset and then you start thinking in a different way. Mindset change.
And this is why we are here. This is why we are here on this Zoom call, on every Sunday's fellowship. That's what iTiS is about. Our fellowship is about mind resetting. We want to attempt these things to see whether we can speak to your mind and then you reset it. Then you start looking at people differently. But you can see even with the members who are trying to reset other people's minds, we also still struggling in some areas.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. It is possible, and for that matter, God even said it to us because He knew it was possible. But looking at it, we know how difficult it is. We know how difficult it is because some of these problems have turned out to be our identities. It is not what we do any longer. No, it is who we are. This is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You speak to people's mind, and at the level of graduation, they tell you they on their graduation they studied humanities, PhD, and then they say basebo ne banyabo nga sinnabeera doctor nasooka kubeera muganda. N'olwekyo njagala tusooke tuyimbe ekitiibwa kya Buganda. Era njagala abantu bategeere nti Buganda ku ntikko.
Nga is a PhD holder.
A PhD holder in humanities. So this is the challenge. Now it happens in Buganda, it happens in the Hima dynasty, it happens in Busoga, it happens all over. It happens in iTiS. It happens all over. Because we have turned tribes into identity. But tribes is something that we do. It is something that we exercise. To me, tribe is a practice. It is a stage in society graduation. As we grow and as we develop and as civilization takes place, tribe is part of that process. And so is language as a participant. But you can't tell this to people. You cannot tell people that you are not a Luo. You are a human being. Omera. You cannot.
No, but that problem of identity. That problem of identity is a very, very big problem.
It's a huge animal. And it was actually my thesis. I'm very passionate about this subject. It was my thesis at the university. Till today, it is my foundational principle of all my ideological understanding.
Because if you've ever attended a very small maybe cell or okay, let's say cell or fellowship, every time you're introducing yourself, you have to when you say that I'm a single person, they will expect you to, okay, that does not define you. They will expect you to identify yourself. Who are you? What do you do? What's your profession? What is your tribe? Are you married? How many kids? Now, that is now what defines, that is what we have labeled as identity.
Exactly. The major problem, as I was saying, is that we have turned what we do into who we are. And that is absurd. very absurd. Turning what we do into who we are is absurd. Because I am a parent of so and so. Parenthood is not an identity. It is a vocation.
The powers winner.
It is something that you do. You are a steward of certain toddlers, or even of, or you have actually even graduated some to adults. But that is something that you do. You can't be your office. That's what I'm trying to say. Then tribe is what we do for our societies. People who look alike group themselves into a group for an activity. It is very absurd if you're a tribe without an activity. For that matter, that's why we have for instance, let me use the Buganda Kingdom because we are in Buganda here. Buganda Kingdom is an activity of a particular tribe, but that's not who they are. They are human beings. But you can't convince the Luchik of Mengo that you are just human beings. You are here for these activities. Building for your dead ancestors, that's an entire project of Masiro. Holding the Kabaka in high esteem as the center that holds together the different tribes and clans of Buganda. That's why the Kabaka is important. But if these Bikas and clans around the Kabaka are inactive and doing nothing, then there is no reason for that existence of Buganda. They must show us what they are doing and how much they are participating to the welfare of the general public, actually, not even of themselves. This is why I congratulate such kingdoms, because they have Mutesa One Royal University, they have Ekisakate, they have radio stations and now and TV stations. That's the essence. That's not who they are. So you don't start phrasing slogans like Buganda Kuntiko. No, the goal is not Buganda going to Kuntiko. But you can't say that. The reason why we have Buganda Kuntiko is because they are competing against other. Therefore, they cannot love them. You can't love your competitor. It is very difficult. If the Bahima look at other tribes in Uganda as competitors, those who want to outset them, then they cannot love them. But if we use these channels, these instruments of which are determined by the size and the length of your nose, really, if we can use that stupidity, okay, to build units that are going to participate in the larger sociology, then that would make sense. The major problem is that these units become independent and become so exclusive to the extent that they start fighting anything outside them. So this is to such, God says, love one another. Look at what is happening in Kenya. The Luo, the Kikuyu, the Kalenjin, ever since Kenya got independence, it has had presidents from two tribes. It is a nation of I think over 50 tribes, I guess. I'm not sure of my statistics, but ever since it got independence, only two tribes have produced presidents. Is that a coincidence? I don't think that is a coincidence. No, it is in fact a coinage. Nicholas, I can't hear you.
I'm saying somebody rather die poor, but when
No.
a tribesman is in power.
The what?
When a tribesman is in power,
Yes.
they don't care whether they are poor, whether they sleep hungry.
Exactly.
That is just content for them.
They don't. Kenya has been ruled by Kikuyus and Kalenjins. And now look at the opposition. The opposition is absolutely also tribal. The Luo. Odinga is actually the fourth arm of government, and his power comes from his tribesmen. The Luos support Odinga, regardless of whether they understand the ideology or not. It is Odinga, our son. That is enough. What are we talking about? We are discussing leadership, economy, law. Those do not matter. Who is there? It is almost a cult.
Isaiah,
Eh?
soko bagambe ku mwana w'embogo.
It is almost a cult. When you come back to Uganda in the cattle corridor, Mubende, to start from down, but okay, let's go. Gomba, Mubende, Nakasongola, Chiboga, Chenkwanzi, that cattle corridor, Nakaseke, etc. All the Himas and the Tutsis there do not want to know whether Museveni has a manifesto or not. What matters is Museveni. You just tick Museveni. Why? He's my tribes. So, my brothers and sisters, I don't think that is what God, because God did not, by the way, God has never created any tribe. Let me say that again. There is no tribe that is original with creation. God created human beings. There are a number of things that God has never created. First of all, God has never created boundaries. It is us who created boundaries and put their borders. And then we put their visas to cross over. God created a boundaryless planet. You were born in a particular place, but you are not created to be stuck there. You were never. So what the Tower of Babel is a report by a sectarian group, Jewish people, who are trying to create and demonstrate a superior tribal group over others. Babel means confusion. So God is not a confuser. But in Genesis chapter 11, we are told that God came down and confused. So that's not the God that we worship. Because I have heard many people referring to Genesis chapter 11 as the source of tribes. No. Tribes were created or were formulated by us. Just like we created boundaries and later on we created flags. And so we came up with the countries and nations. What is original with God is our races, how we look. Asians, Africans, Caucasians, you know how we look. That's original.
And the gender, male and female.
And male and female, that is very original. The rest is what we have just come up with. For our selfishness, for our interests, and for our foreignness. So you should stop thinking like that you are a Lugo. I am a Lugo. I am a Mutusi. I am a Munyarwanda. I am. God has never created Uganda, neither has he ever created America. Those are our creations. Even our history books tell us when such names and labels were born, don't they?
1962.
Exactly. So I'm seeing here some questions here. Then why are all races believed scientifically that they come from black? No. That is evolution. Scientifically, when you hear that term scientifically, please investigate what it means. You are discussing evolution if you are saying that they all came from black. Life began from Africa. I have heard that saying. According to archaeology, iTiS, life began from Africa. The first life was in Africa. They're just hyping you Africans because that is all you can get. Life was all over. It was. Okay, if it began from Africa, well and good. Then you are not created to stay where you are. You were created to move around. So why are you limited? Why are we limiting ourselves? Why are we creating borders? Why do we need a visa to traverse planet Earth? It's because we're selfish. It's because we look at other people not to be us or one of us. We don't love one another. That's why we have passports, we have visas, we have boundaries, we have borders. We have come up with weapons of mass destruction. Because we don't love one another. We've gathered our resources here and others cannot access them. Only us should access these resources. So these identities are identities of your foreignness. They are not original with God's creation. That's not how you were created. Stop looking at people in their races and in their tribes and in their religions. Stop looking at they are human beings. They are human beings. So to me, I think that's why the language of Jesus of love one another is very dangerous. But people just read it from the surface and then they just move on. Love one another, love one another. Yeah, you see, we are taught to love one another. You see me, I'm a loving person. I have no problem with other people. To what extent? To what extent do you love one another? To what extent? Because the extent that you think is not what God is saying in that verse. So it's not. It is entirely not. So I'm not discouraging you. Tribes are good for social graduation. So you can maintain those tribes if they are useful. Can I say that again? Maintain those tribes as long as they are useful to the general public. If your tribe is not useful to the general public, drop it. You don't need it.
They are just created. They will just end at some point.
But exactly. But if you come up with a tribe, you make sure that it is useful. So I'm asking you, what is your tribe contributing to the development of your community? Before you say, we are Tutsi. Good. How have the Tutsi helped the community where there are even those who are not Tutsi? We should have projects of tribes. The Baganda are very organized people. I wish they were not foreigners as all human beings. Before you put there, Fetuliba Kobe, okay, that is a totem. Before you hang it there, Fetuliba Kobe, what contribution has Kobe to this country? Because we should stop this idea of building Uganda and isolating it. Then you come to nations like Febatwe Federal, Fetwe Yawule, we us. That us has against them internations. same with Basoga, same with Banyarwanda, same with Bahima, same. So that's the problem. When you go to URA, it is filled with a particular tribe, with or without qualifications. When you go to another ministry, it is filled with that. When all that. Recently, I was in a PTA meeting, and the school was started by a Buganda king, and the entire board consisted only people from one tribe. And to me, I really thought it was fair, because what we do in Entebbe, we should do it in Mengu, and then do it in Busoga, then do it. So we are, that's how we look at others when we go into the public marketplace. Loving one another is not a joke, you guys. So let's not joke over this verse. It is very dangerous. It's very dangerous. Thank you. Peter, are you there? What is our other question in case we have?
I'm on the road, I'm traveling.
Okay.
Pastor White, help me.
Okay. So there's a question in the chat. Have you guys seen it?
You read it.
Does God have a problem with diversity? Not at all. He's the one who created diversities. But these are not diversities that you've created. God created inclusive diversities. You have created exclusive diversities. So what is diverse here? A tribe? You have a tribe, I have a tribe. You have a language, I have a language. When you switch to Uganda, I switch to Nyarwanda. So what is diverse there? God appreciates these diversities, and he wants us to work within those diversities for the welfare and development of all of us as human beings.
Yeah,
I think Isaiah, I think the problem is when you think that where you belong is superior over the other, and then you try to use it to suppress. Probably maybe if you have an advantage over your fellow people, then you use it to suppress.
And that is what we do. That is my challenge. That is what I've been actually discussing here. Because when yes, Kambo.
I think Olusi, I mean, giving examples that we're discussing more of what we know of tribe and everything. Originally, I don't know, the people who were doing these things, when you look at, for example, Buganda, if you look at its history, Ojakwesanganga, Buganda, the kingdom itself, they really were not limited by boundaries. Mwalingamu n'abantu ku mulubiri abali nga si Baganda nga bwe bali close to the Kabaka. That is where you hear all these things of Kabaka si Muganda. So I mean, we have had ministers who are Indians. We have had maybe when people observe that maybe the current people who are in office are kind of pushing things in their direction. Why? Banabo muwesi buli kimu bakyefuza kugenda mu URA nga toyogera Lunyankole tebajja kukolako. So abanabo ne bafuna kanagamba naffe kale katandika okuzimba ekyaffe, and this is where the whole thing is coming from. But otherwise, diversity should not be a problem. Oba oli Munyankole, oba oli Muganda, the issue is you shouldn't use that to the advantage and suppress another. You should work in harmony. You should work together. I was watching the championship with Budapest. This lady, Banabaduka, this Jamaican lady, Bamita Jackson, Terita Jackson, no, America. They've been rivals. Nenga buli competition Jabaduka never rising. Olina singa monne at the end ngabe haginga nebakuba smile as if like they are not even rivaling. So that's how it's supposed to be. There's that healthy kind of competition, but there's that working in harmony. So I think what you're saying is to diversity is okay, but as long as someone does not use it to suppress the other.
That is what it's supposed to be. But even the most inclusive tribe in Uganda, which are the Baganda, have never voted on who becomes a king, and that king is not a Buganda. That is how inclusive the Baganda were. So these stories of we see Buganda to Sembeza, we welcome everyone to what extent? That is the issue of this verse. This verse is dangerous, you guys. I warned you. So the problem of Buganda is the problem of Ankoli, is the problem of Acholi. You guys, I can tell you, you have been here in Uganda for a while. You can remember when Idi Amin was the president, the Nubians were all over. When he left power, Nubians resorted to selling roasted nuts and papyrus mats. And those were the Nubians. Then Anacholi came into power.
I think Langi.
Okay, Langi Northerner came into power, and they were all over. They even had a complete house in Kampala. It is even still there. UPC, that UPC block, what is it called, Pedson?
Uganda House.
Uganda House, where you found these desperate Northerners smoking today. When those left power, they resorted to becoming security guards. Saracen, it is every security guy is from the north. Is that a coincidence? By the time all these were in power, the Westerners were hawkering milk on bicycles and on foot in jerrycans.
Gumboots.
We were in gumboots. And they were the Balaro of the incumbents. These things you remember. I'm trying to demonstrate how serious and dangerous this verse is. And now, the former milk vendors are in power. Where are they? They are in every reasonable office.
URA, UNRA, OPM.
When you take the Masaka Road and you look at how Mbarara looks, and then you take other routes and you look at how those other regions look, then you can tell the problem. Are you people telling us that Westerners are more hardworking than all other regions? So is it coincidence for that region to be developed more than other regions? The central people who used to be the Barangira, the inclusive, are on borders. And stealing and on TikTok and on social media, they are kusabula. They are kusabula. Babasabula. They are kusabula. Is that a coincidence? No, it's an issue of loving one another. It's an issue of superiority. It's an issue of dominance. Because I hear so many Baganda saying, for us, we are inclusive. We welcome everyone. To what extent? Ladies and gentlemen, we came here in 1940. We the Banyarwanda, we came here in 1940. And you put us down at the end of the garden. That's where you stay. You used to send your children to find us down there where you have thrown us. But of course, thank you. You were very welcoming people. And in the kingdom, there were Banyarwanda there, running offices, good. Did any Munyarwanda become the Kabaka? No, the Kabaka is born. That is how inclusive we are. The Kabaka is born.
Isaiah
Now you understand. What?
In another way. I think in any society, even when you're welcoming people, there are some procedures that are followed. If you told me that Obama would be, for example, the president of the US at one time, someone would say you are joking, you know, black, you know, father is from Kenya, Africa. But with time, as the guy proved his worth, they were elevated. So even the Banyarwanda who started.
Bob, is there a time when Anacholi would become the Kabaka?
We just need to live long enough.
Okay, I'm not sure you really got it. Do you know what it means to how you become a Kabaka? If they have told you the Kabaka is born.
Auntie Kugambi, you just need to live. We need to live long enough.
No, it's not about living. No, it is exclusive. It is a tribal thing. That's what you are missing.
I can never see anybody become a Kabaka outside Buganda.
Hey, you cannot. Because it is a tribal thing. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Then you say you just need to live long enough. To live long enough until the Baganda perish. Now, leave alone Anacholi. Do you know what the Mukopi Murangira problem in Buganda, what it meant?
When you look at the structure, I'm saying you just need to live long enough. When you look at the structure of how those kingdoms, whoever is supposed to kusikira, okimanyi nti n'omukyala asobola okufuga
nga mukyoli.
Anti kati nkulaga structure kati omukyala bw'aba afuga which means waliwo yamuzaala.
It is structured on tribe, Bob. That's your problem. It is structured on tribe. We're not discussing here democracy and the modus operandi. We are discussing the foundation principle. Can a Mukopi become a king? The answer is distant. Now, if a Mukopi is far away from the throne, now think of Anacholi. So these things that you keep trumpeting, you say, Abaganda to be inclusive, Abaganda to analyze. There is a major problem. I am telling you guys, religion is a problem. Tribe is a problem. Those are the major obstacles of loving one another. Because we look at yes. No. Saint and capitalism is just a practice, Pedson. I can tell you, Pedson, poor people hate each other and bewitch each other. Poor people omwavu aloga mwavu munne naye nga ddala amwagaza ki? Esente just nkola temuzeekwasa, mulina ekizibu ekiri fundamental nga mmwe abantu nti osanga omwavu nga balwana ne mwavu munne. Musa yasanga omuddu ng'akuba muddu munne ng'amugudde mu bulago mu Bayibuli. Musa najja n'agamba nti bonna mwenna mulina omulabo omu, mufa ki? Ne bamukyukira. Kati there is a fundamental problem. Jengezaako okubalaga. Naye bwe tugituuka nga mutandika okugamba genda obuuze abatuusi baffe bakunyumize kigeri. Abazungu nga bajja e Rwanda baasangayo abantu basatu: Tuusi, Hutu, Twa. Nga Tuusi yakulembera naye nga bonna baagalana era bakolagana. Era Tuusi agenda gamba twali bulungi nnyo nga twagalana era nga tukolagana. Omuzungu n'atandika okuleeta ekitabo n'agamba nti waliwo ekitabo kibayita ibook mwe baapimiranga ennyindo z'abantu ne babaawula kati ogwa Ituusi, gw'ogwa Hutu, gw'ogwa Twa. Naye nga bonna baali bakkiriza nti bannalwanda era Rwanda yaabwe. Omuzungu n'agamba nti kati gwongera omutuusi gy'oli omuwanvu ate ng'olina n'ebisolo bino bingi eby'ente, kati gwe gojja okubeera omukulembeze w'abantu, kati bano bajja kuweereza. We have a country in East Africa whose population is 90% a certain ethnic group and 10% a certain ethnic group. 10% yekulembera tena na vice president are representing a 90%. Do you see the problem?
And they own all the resources.
And they own all the resources. Do you see the problem? Hey,
Time bomb.
time bomb.
Zambia.
Ekyo kiri in a certain East African country, in another Eastern African country, era bwe kiri ng'ogenze eri Kenya, bw'ojja mu Uganda, era ndowooza bwe kiri, leka mbere bold nkyogere, kakati mulowooza tulagawo. Leka mbawe ekirala ekiri global mukitegeere. Caucasians. Abazungu bwe ziri, ndowooza ekyo bwe kiri mu Luganda. Bakola percentage ku population y'ensi. Bakola percentage. Kyuvula the war of Russia and Ukraine. Lutalo lubi nnyo nga bw'okiwulira. Kubanga lwe lutalo lwokka olutta abazungu. Naye abo abatono b'olaba be bafuga ffe ffenna ate nga tebatufuga mu kutuyamba kubeera bulungi, nga batufuga kutufutiza n'okutukendeeza tutuuke ku nnamba ya bwaki. Kakati bino byebizibu bannange, bino byebizibu. Naye bw'obabuuza, naye bannange musosola nga baga tetubawa buyambi. Ffe tulina omuntu gwe tutasembeza. Laba ensi yaffe Amerika. Olabe Amerika olabe bw'efaanana. Si nsi ya buli bantu bonna. Mwali akakodyo ako mukalaba.
Era Obama yafugayo.
Weebale nnyo. Era Obama yafugayo. Naye nga ddala Obama yafuga. Oba yatuula mu structure. Kati ebintu ebiri sentimental temubigenderako. Mwe iTiS temubigenderako. Mwe mwasoma. Mwe mwakkiriza ne Yesu Kristo. Temugenda ku bintu ebiri sentimental bya kisiru. Okuvubiriza Abaganda bakiyita. Amerika erina abantu miliyoni 3. Abafuga yakafugibwa pulezidenti bameka?
Oba 80.
Banaatera otuukana mu 100. Mulimu omuddugavu ogwa. Eyo nayo coincidence. Ng'ate n'omuddugavu be bamuleese. Eyo nayo coincidence. Mutemusobola kiraba nti busosoze kwe tutudde. Amakomera ga Amerika. Abantu abasinga okubeera abangi mu bo baddugavu n'abasipaana. Bana bagundi bano bakyocholito babayita batya Pedson.
Chicharito Mexico.
Abo bwe batya abo that Mexican bwe batya. Latino bwe bali. Latinos be bajjuddemu n'abaddugavu. Eyo nayo coincidence. Kokabula movements Black Lives Matter mu nsi nga America. Eyo coincidence. You guys move very serious, Black Lives Matter. Obama was the president, but you see, I can't breathe. Obama was the president.
But Isaiah, ati tulina okumanya nti ebintu bigenda bitambula mu phases. Black Lives Matter will be a song until it is overcome. Naye we bali kati ate si we bali emyaka 4 emabega. They are strides that they have made because of slavery.
Kiki ekikyuse buva muzebi kiki ekikyuse emyaka 4 emabega kiki ekikyuse mbaye ekintu ekikyuse.
Nedda tenkugamba when you look today, there are black judges who are leading the court in the US.
Nga balina kubalamuza batula wali waggulu bali omusanvu basalirawo eggwanga kuliko abaddugavu bameka.
Oba kuliko omu oba kuliko babiri, but previously tekwali.
Anti kati kyekulaga Bob
what have they can Obama yafuga 8 years. What did he do? What did he change? What fundamental change did he bring?
Fundamental change gye yaleeta kwe kuyamba okukuba Gaddafi omunafrika.
Banange obusosoze buliriyo Bob, va mu bintu by'okuwolereza ebintu ebitaliyo, obusosoze buliriyo. Abantu abatono banyigiriza abantu abangi nga basinzira ku langi zaabwe.
Siganye nti tebuliyo.
Anti tombulira nkyukakyuka etaliiwo, tewaliwo nkyukakyuka Bob, togeza neyogera mbu waliwo enkyukakyuka, teriiwo. Era nammwe abaddugavu abali eyo mugendayo kwera. Kyekyo kyokka kyokka n'abaddugavu abasomye bonna buli muddugavu bamuwadde diguli agyetise. Abaddugavu basinga okubeera abayigirizi beetise diguli zitalina kye zikola nga tezisalawo.
Do you know how many people, by the Isaiah, do you know how many people die on those small balloon boats crossing from West Africa
And graduates.
Europe? I don't think there's any change this year.
Tewaliwo change. Laba ekintu ekiri mu South Africa, ANC ene yaba Ramaphosa. Bali abasajja abazungu abatono ababeera eri mu zivillage zagundi bagiina mu ngalo bwe bati ate nga nabo balina ekibiina kyabwe, naye Ramaphosa ali wakati mu gulipu yaabwe bw'ati. Naye bano bamalema bajja ne bakuba kerere, no policies era ne ziyita mulowooza ziyita zitya bannange? Kubanga abasajja bakontrolinga South Africa on an international level. Kanko ekyokulabirako, Putin yali agendayo ne bagenda mu iTiS. Abasajja abazungu mu South Africa baaloopa ne bagamba nti oli memba wa iTiS, ne bagenda mu kooti tasobola kulinnya wano nga Ramaphosa bo baagala jje oli memba wa iTiS. iTiS yani ya Afirika. Mu iTiS batwalayo omuntu akoze ebikolobero mu Amerika bwe yakuba Afghanistan nekuba ensusu zonna zeekubye bagitwala mu iTiS.
That one, it's
love one another. Olwo lunyiriri mu luveeko lujja kubattira bwereere. Waliwo alinayo ekibuuzo ekirala?
Musumba.
Mukama wange.
Ntuuse kati wano. Mbadde nsaba kwegamba mpuliriza obadda ndi wano nga nsiriikiridde mpuliriza. Neŋŋamba oba tufuneyoko session. Waliwo ebintu bisatu bina byensaba bwe tulifuna obudde tubirambulule tubiyigeko. Ekisooka tusoma tuyigirizibwa nga Katonda yatonda eggulu n'ensi, naye kanneesibe ku ensi ng'ensi ntegeeza Earth planet. Kakati lwaki mbuuza kino? Kiri mu identity, ekintu kino ekya identity. Twagala geography ne geology byo bituyigiriza ne bigamba nti ensi lyali ttaka limu, kyali kimaasi kimu, ne kitandika okutuka ekimu ettaka erimu ne lireeta planet, ne lireeta ebeera continent ne ziva nga kyali ttaka limu. Kakati twagala okubuuza creation nti ekintu kino ekitaka kino kye bayita kye twatuuma erinnya tukituuma Africa, ekirala ne tukituuma Asia, ekirala ne tukituuma Antarctica, byatondebwa biri bityo oba geological forces ze zaabireeta? Ekyo ekibuuzo ekyo. Bwe biba byatondebwa byanjawulo, Katonda bwe yali twayiga wano nti Katonda teyatonda Adamu na Kaawa kutegeeza mwami Adamu ne Kaawa, wabula yatonda Adamu ne Kaawa nga tutegeeza abantu. Katwagala obuuza be yatondera mu kitaka ekyo bwe kiba nga kyali byeyawula, be yatondera mu kitaka ffe kye twayita Asia, ne be yatondera mu kitaka leero kye tuyita Africa, n'abalala be yatondera mu kitaka oba bakiyita Antarctica, baali boogera olulimi lwe lumu n'abali mu kitaka kiri.
Ng'olulimi otegeeza ki?
Kakati ebyo twagala obuuza ebyo.
Anti kakati kyera kitwandikira ku ekyo.
Kubanga
tukwatako ekimu. Ng'olulimi otegeeza dialect.
Dialects nga siri ku kiri ekyammwe ekya anthropology nga sinagenda mu kiri kiri anthropological nga ndi mu kino ennimi zino ennimi Katonda bwe yatonda abantu tebatonda na nnimi nga nnimi ntegeeza dialects era bwe kibanga bwe yatonda bw'ati n'atonda abali mu kisi kino n'atonda abali mu kisi kiri n'abawa olulimi kiri kye twogerako ekya anthropology nga tabawadde lulimi dialect nga yo dialect be baagitonda. Ne batonda dialect ne batonda morphology ne batonda semantics ne batonda phonology ne batonda phonetics n'ebeera develop ku level ezo zonna nga be bakitonze.
Mwebyo byeyogedde nyina obuzibu ne phonology.
Okay.
Naye biri ebisigadde byonna mu language bijja buzi.
Kubanga anti nakyo nakyo nkyebuuza kubanga nkubamu ekifaananyi Katonda bwe yatonda abantu nti ne bagwawo awo ne bakola ki ne boogera ki ne boogeraganya batya era nga boogera bavuddewa bivuddewa
kubanga oli musomesa wa nnimi symbolism ne language kiriwo ekizala kinnaakyo
kisinziira
kuki
kisinziira ku social cultural environment kubanga waliwo abantu sofa bendowooza nga basoga nga bw'agamba musajja mulala ng'ate omuganda bw'agamba musajja mulala byombi si bye bitegeeza kye kimu newankubadde simbolikale.
Ogendeddewo mu lulimi Peter, nze ndi ku language evolution nti nga tetunnaba na kutonda kigambo musajja. Waliwo obubonero bwe tutuuma omusajja oba tebuliiwo?
Omusajja yasooka obubonero ne bujja, obubonero si bwe busooka.
Weebale nnyo. Kakati omusajja ke kabonero akasooka.
Ng'omusajja kabonero? Okay. All right.
Kubanga atuumibwa omusajja.
All right. Naye kale kyani mu kutakabana nakyo kyani mu kutakabana nakyo kyeŋŋambye nti bwe tuba tufunya akadde kwegamba ebintu bino ositudde
teweesiba ku kyakadde kwesa zino eddakiika z'olina Peter otuyambe teweesiba ku kyakadde eddakiika z'olina ku kino otuyambe ekibuuzo kye tukubuuza nga gwe omusomesa w'olulimi abantu nga tebannaba kwogera bayibeerako n'awantu we bali oba tebabeerako we bali abantu bajja n'olulimi oba balutondera mu kifo mwe bali.
Kakati awo nze kansooke mmalayo amasiga gali ge njagala okuyambibwa wasitudde ekintu bakiyita identity n'oclaiminga nti Katonda teyatonda tribes n'ate nga mwatusomesa mu creation nti Katonda yatonda abantu ab'enjawulo. Kakati ekimu kyendi wano kyentakabana nakyo bw'otonda abantu ab'enjawulo oba otegeeza ki? Wagambye oba otonze phenotype aka race. Wagamba abantu nga balina identity ya race naye nga tebalina linguistic identity.
Kati race yaabwe eyo race yaabwe eyo eyina ekikolwa eky'olulimi mu kikolwa ekyo eky'olulimi era mubakola n'ekikolwa ekirala ekya tribe. Ebikolwa bino ebibiri si bye bali. Olutalo lwe tubadde nalwo olwaleero mu lunyiriro lwe luno nti bafuula bye bakola bye bali.
Ha. Kakali. Kibadde kyennyingira kikyanuguna kakati kubanga yes okutakabana thank you ngoberera okutakabana kwendi nako era kwenjagala okuyambibwa probably nti ntakabana n'ekintu kino eky'olulimi nyagala soko demo nyamba awo anthropology egamba nti anthropology ennyonnyola nti omuntu alina olulimi kye bayita olulimi principle nga tetunnagenda ku dialect era biology ne neuroscience biology ne neuroscience naga nti omuntu bw'atondebwa alina apparatus ne principles eziri wired mu neurons nga ziri wired nga za lulimi naye nga tasobola teluyinza kumanifestinga dialectically tetuluyinza kumanifestinga nga Luganda okujjako nga luli provoked ne social cultural context kati ndi awo ntakaba nambuuza Katonda bwe yatutonda ye kiki
webale nnyo Peter webale nnyo njagala kuyingiriramu awo Katonda yatonda mwogezi
Katonda yatonda mwogezi ate kyatatondera ku mbuzi
kati ate embuzi zina gye bayita call system
kyeŋŋamba ngezaako okitegeera
kyatatondera ku mbuzi kati kyova olaba for instance Peter bwe mba njogera Oluganda mpulikika ng'Omunnarwanda
nedda taata n'akamu n'akatono
omanyi lwaki
olwa social cultural context y'omwobadde ebbanga erisinga obunene mu bulamu bwo
kati gwe ekyo okyogedde nga profession naye nze gyaloddemu kati okyogere nga theologian kati fa theologian tubaga Katonda yatonda mwogezi kakati bwe yakutonda ng'oli mwogezi n'olwekyo osobola okwogera ennimi zonna ezikoleddwa bw'oba oweereddwa omukisa ekyo Peter kyayogedde wano social cultural positioning and experience and exposure naye toyinza kuvayo n'ogamba nti Katonda yantonda ndi Muganda nga ndi wakwogera Luganda era Oluganda n'Obuganda ekyo kyendi nedda ebyo bikolwa ye argument ya kati kubanga
kati Peter wants to say God, like how you can buy a phone nga already in all the applications
kubanga bao bapita abakugu abasomesa abazungu bo kibasomesa mu neuroscience ne mu anthropology nange nabisinkana mu anthropology naye kati nze bwe maze okutuula mu environment neneetegeeza n'okwetegeeza nkizudde buzuuzi nti Katonda yatonda mwogezi
akati ye Peter nze njagala kubuuza Peter what do you say on these kids who are Baganda nga the father is a Muganda the mother is a Muganda naye ng'omwana tamanyi Luganda ate ye Katonda yamutonderamu Oluganda
bwe kiba Katonda yamutonderamu Luganda lwaki ng'ate era Muganda lwaki tayogera Luganda
ayogera ate nga yazaalirwa wano from here naye nga they don't know Luganda
by the way waliwo n'abali wano ab'ebikomera
Sabo ebibuuzo byange tebikukusa Buganda wano
era siwe twagala okutegeera ssebo siwe twagala okutegeera
kale nga
twagala okukozesa okurepresentinga abalala
ebibuuzo byange biri mu mbeera yakutakabana ngezaako kutegeera nga ekintu kino identical gamba musumba kyenabadde ŋŋamba era kyeŋŋamba
sebo genda maaso nejjogo sebo
Nedda waliwo obuberenge wano omanyi bulina engeri gye buwoomamu. Obuberenge nga bugendera kututa kakati
Kotota sebo, kotota. Kamaso sebo.
yes pasa ya Musumba tuli ku kintu
sebo mulina nente munywa ku mata.
Banywa amata ngeno ba discussinga linguistics. Genda maso romushana.
Okay. Musumba, tuwaze tuli ku kintu ekigamba ntakabanira ddala ekintu ositude ekintu kya identity kati mbuuza nzaani bw'ogamba nze bwe nnyimirira mba nti nze ate nga bwe mumala batheologani Yesu Kristo n'atugamba nti kiyagala muntu nga bwe weeyagala kati weeyagala ya assuminga nti nze maze okutegeera nze kyokka nontakabana wanoonna mu ttooka eno eya leero I'm struggling with nze bwe nnyimirira ngamba abantu nti nzaani bwe nnyimirira nga Peter Serubidde enjogedde nze Peter Serubidde nabisanga mu social cultural environment
kati Peter
yes
okwanukula ekibuuzo kyo leka mbeere stubborn enough ng'aba revolutionary babeera nsooke nze neeyogereko nga naawe gy'oli weeyogerako tuli ffenna nze ngenda kweyogerako naye ngenda kweyogerako byessiri kati bwe nnaamala okweyogerako byessiri bwe nnaamala okweyogerako byessiri nja kuba nsima musingi ogwogera nzaani tyo tumuyine Isaiah White Mutabaazi eyo lebo nze siri Munyarwanda siri theologian wadde philosopher siri mukristaayo
muganda wange
ebintu ebyo siri musumba siri musomesa wa Bayibuli ebintu ebyo sibiri ebintu ebyo mbikola era binkolwako naye ebintu ebyo sibiri bwete wesobola okuddamu ekibuuzo kya nzaani
kakati kakati kiki ekisigaddewo awo
webale nnyo kati awo obuuliza kiri ekibuuzo kati gwani ndi muntu eyatondebwa mu kifaananyi kya Katonda ng'abo bonna abalinga nze
tukwawula tutya n'oli kubanga twagala
Eh,
okumanya
nzija
nti
bwe mwagala kunjawula n'oli tuli fenna
essebo
nga muddayo mu byessiri. Bana nga waliwo omuntu ategeera kye tuliko wano.
Me,
Aha.
I'm following.
Weebale nnyo Peeri. Nga muddayo mu byessiri.
Musumba
Lwaki ssebo?
kaakati awo bwe tuyigirizibwa nti Serubidde ali omu yekka togamba lebo gye nkozesezza nyanguye wano kye tuli mu communicatinga nti kati bwemba nze omuntu nze ndi muntu eyatondebwa mu kifaananyi kya Katonda ng'abalala bali kiyenza oyo n'ate kati ne mutuyigiriza mmwe ba creationists nti era Katonda gwe twakkiriza yatutonda nga nze siringa gwe kakati mbuulira gwe nange Katonda bwe tuba yatutonda tuli baawufu kiki ekitwawulamu awo
lwaki oyagala nnyo okwawukana?
Musumba nze nzaabuuzaamu katono awo
Mangu
oba ntegedde kyogamba our differences define us. They make us unique and beautiful. At the same time, they define us. Kyotegeeza oba sitegedde?
Kyentegeeza naye kati tulwanyisa ekizibu ekyokufuula differences who we are kye tulwanyisa. Serubidde nkomyewo ewuwo. Gwe Serubidde lwaki oyagala buli kaseera twawukane?
Anti nze nzikiriza mu Katonda.
Kubanga twawukanira mu mubiri. Tetwawukanira mu ekyo kye tuli.
Mu mubiri ng'otegeeza ki?
DNA yo, fingerprint zo, era mubikola n'obikola. Temubikola wano?
Tubikola so.
Kati ne mukola n'endabika ne face. Nze waliwo ekintu kye neewunya ku Katonda buli lunaku lwe ntambula ku street. Bannange, I have tried my level best namwe muyinza okugezaako. Katonda simanyi wa wajja faces za njawulo. Simanyi wazijja. Nti n'abanyalonda mugambo no bafaanana. Bw'obamanyi obeera nabo tebafaanana. N'Abachina abafaanana. Bw'oba omanyi Abachina tebafaanana. Kakati ebyo mwami Serubidde eby'omubiri ebyo mwawukana. Naye kye tubuuza ekibuuzo, omuntu wonna waali abeera muntu.
Omuntu bw'aba wonna waali.
Ne kyonna kyali abeera muntu.
Abeera muntu.
Kakati omuntu. Naye leka mbabulire omuntu watabeera muntu. Ng'omu Muganda, omulala Munyarwanda. Ng'omu yasoma, ng'omulala teyasoma. Ng'omu mumpi, ng'omulala muwanvu. Ng'omu alina ennyindo mpanvu, ng'omulala alina eno eya pireri. Ekyo kyekizibu.
Omulala mwavu.
Omu mugagga, omulala mwavu. Omu yazaalibwa wano, omulala yajja buziima Ugranti. Ebyo bintu byonna bimulaba. Citizen by birth, immigration oba by igulu. Ebyo bye muwulira ebyo. Ng'omanya obusosoze ekkiriya. Kakati kyekizibu mwami Serubidde kye tulwana nakyo.
Kati
wawulidde nga ngamba muno sirina mu Kristaayo.
we nayitabidde.
Ng'omu musiraamu, ng'omulala mu Kristaayo, ng'omu mu mulokole, ng'omulala mu Katuliki, ng'omu ne mulemwa n'okubikwata ebyo nana mubiteeke ebbali mubuuze ekibuuzo. Katonda y'ani? Tewali akibuuza. Bali ku ddiini yange, ddiini ya mama, ddiini ya taata, ddiini ya kika. Ffe tuli basiraamu era twambala bwe tuti. Ebyo byonna bikolwa bya busosoze. Naye wali olabyeko omubbi ayambadde ekkoola najja n'akonkona n'agamba njagala kusabira, n'ayingira mu nnyumba, mugandula n'ajjamu emmundu. Tayingira mu nnyumba, tayingira.
Ayingira.
Omanyi lwaki ayingira? Ayambadde ekkoola. Lwaki? Kubanga kkoola tulina we twagiteeka ne tubaawula. Nga twerabidde nti ekikulu si kkoola eno, ekikulu omuntu. Yagwa teyagwa. Bo batwe bakwata abawala mu counseling be muyita abasumba. Kubanga omwana muwala ayingira lumu ng'ali ne man of God, naye nga ddala abeera man of God yani. Eyo nayo lebbo. Presiding apostle. Pasita. Ffe kyetuva tusomesa tugamba nti omuntu yagwa. Omuntu. Bayibuli tegamba nti Reverend yagwa, omubbi yagwa. Egamba omuntu yagwa. Era nsanga abantu bangi nga bali disappointed. Gwe munyalwanda munnange, gwe munyalwanda munnange. Mwali mukiwuliddeko ekyo? Aba ategeeza gwe munyalwanda munnange n'onziba. Njagala nnyo okubuuza abanyarwanda, ekigambo umuzuura kya Luganda. Tuleke tugambye Abaganda bokka be babbi. Kubanga ewaffe walina ekigambo kiruyita umuzuura, omubbi, umuzuura. Umuzuura kya Luganda. Omusuma kya Luteeso. Kati lwaki omuhima agamba munne iwe omwana okanyiba? Kwegamba ayina okukubba, ayina kuba wawalala.
Bagamba batya? Bapetishoni mugamba mutya?
Ayina okukubba, ayina kuba wawalala. Ate olwo ekigambo omusuma kikola ki mu lulimi lwammwe?
Anti kati Isaiah kiri kyoyogedde. Brother, sorry, where we started from,
biri bye tukola emabega. Muzimba ebintu ebyo ebikolwa ne mubifuula bye muli. Olw'okubanga oli muhima, therefore toli mubbi. Really?
Era kyova olaba omulogo oba omulogo omusoga.
Oba Muganda.
Omulogo musoga. Munyoro.
Nze sisobola kulya kalo ne mukene, nze sinze Tom Aliyongo. Digestive system yabo giteekamu akalo ne mukene. Bibaki? Lwaki temulya byennyanja? Isaiah manyi ffe tuli batuusi, tetulya byennyanja. Tetulya byennyanja. Owulira ensonga y'obutalya byennyanja? Bannange babasibo ne bannyabo mukendeeza obusiru, tubeegayiridde.
Nsonga lwaki tolya byennyanja?
Ndi mutuusi.
Kale so
enywete nkulya njoka, egyo tenjoka, omuntu yali enjoka beshabiru ne bali ebyo. Kasooli ekigambo abayiru, abahima, abakopi, abalangira. Tomu wamwe kiri kitya? Simanyi Luteeso na Lugalamagi. Okumanya tuli bubi nti abantu basooka ne beeyawula as a group. Group gye baawudde nayo yennyini nebeera n'enjawukana mu yo.
ow'emmamba.
Ow'emmamba. Ow'emmamba tawasa wangabi. Abakazi b'engabi bazibu nnyo. Kakati baze oli banyabo. Katonda atusaasire. Tukkirize nti nno twagwa. Tulekeraawo okufuula obugumu bwaffe identities bye tuli. Bino ebisinga obungi bugumu bwaffe bwe bututawaanya. Love is an attitude. Oteekwa okubeera ne attitude gwa Isaiah Omunyarwanda omutuusi. Oteekwa okubeera ne attitude towards Ariong Tom Opio Omuteeso. Attitude y'emu gy'oteekwa okubeera ku Tom, gy'oteekwa okuba nayo ku Petson. Ebyo kye bayita love one another. Mukama abawo omukisa bassebo ne bajja.
Bannange tekyentegedde wano Katonda yatonda boogezi, ekyo ngenze nakyo.
Bw'owalanguage oli soote.
Yatonda boogezi. Kyova olaba boogera buli kibasala mu maaso. Buli ekibasala mu maaso kasita obateekamu exposure nga boogera.
Okugamba mbuze sirya byennyanja ndi mutuuse. Omanyi enzymes eziri ku lulimi lwo ssebo tezikkiriza byennyanja okakasa. Tuzikebere. Banaye mubeere bulungi mweraba.
Naye identity. Eyo kasita ogisootinga nze kyentegedde kasita tusootinga nzaani.
Eyo ne ku universities gye nakola. Ne wendigenda ku PhD gye nja okukola. Bakulu mwera Biru oli otya Biru wange?
Biru ali mu mmotoka ddaka.
Sobola yatuuse eddagala. Banaye mbalamusiza nnyo Brenda, tusense okulaba, weewale nnyo okutulemerako, Mukama akuwe nnyo omukisa. Against all odds. Weewale nnyo Brenda.
Ka Brenda kaffe akamu bwe kati.
Mweraba. See you next Thursday. Mukeerako.
Kale, Kristo yeebazibwe.